The court then set the matter for hearing today, and Ms. Main has appeared. Now, Ms. Main, the charge is that you have violated the court's previous order not to allow accumulation of solid waste on your premises, and in the event that it's found you've done that and are in contempt of the court's order, then you could be sentenced to a term of 30 days in jail, fined $250. Now, my question is, assume you've got, and I don't know, I mean, the black and white copies I have are not very good, but you have received the paperwork and everything on that, right?
Yes, sir, and I received black and white copies as well, so I'm not sure.
All right, could you share some color photos with her, Mr.
Yes, I could, Your
King? And I assume you may have photos that were taken within the last day or so?
I have photos that were taken today.
All right, can show those to her.
It's my kid's toy buy, huh? My trash waiting to be picked up.
Okay, the question I have for you is this. Are you disagreeing that you're in contempt, or are you admitting that you're in contempt? And if you don't know which way, that's fine, then I'll have them put on evidence. And if you're denying it, we'll have them put on evidence as well.
I'm not denying it, but I'm not admitting it either, because these pictures are showing my grandchildren's toys up in the corner.
Okay.
Skids that we have covered with a tarp that we're tearing apart.
Okay, well, you're getting into
And
what
the
is
trash
really,
sitting out in the road waiting for the trash to be picked up tomorrow.
All right. Well, I think what we need to do is go ahead and have evidence presented.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Mr. King, you want to proceed?
Yes, I would, Your Honor, I would call Courtney Hall.
Would you stand, raise your right hand, and be sworn, please? Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. All right. You may be seated and testify from there, but keep your voice up so I can hear you.
Okay.
Could you please state your name for the record?
Courtney Hall.
And are you currently employed?
Yes.
Where at?
Highland County Health Department.
And what are your job duties there?
I'm primarily in the sewage program and the nuisance program.
Okay. And are you familiar with the property located at 6629 Pied Piper Parkway in Hillsborough?
I am.
And is that in Highland County?
Yes.
And do you know who owns that property?
Yes, Amy Main.
And do you see Amy Main in the courtroom today?
I believe that's Amy Main, yes.
Seated at the table across from you?
Yes.
Let the record reflect the witnesses identified the defendant.
Sure.
And have you ever been to the property located at 6629 Pied Piper Parkway?
I have.
And when were you last there?
Today.
And in general terms, could you just describe the overall condition of the property?
There are some things there. We have a couple piles of trash. And then as far as the child's toys go, we're okay with those. But we ask that they be covered with a tarp in case they were to collect any water from mosquito arborage.
Okay, I can do that.
And when you were at the property today, did you take photographs?
Yes.
Handing you what has been marked as Exhibit 1. Do you recognize this photo?
Yes.
What is that?
That is a photo on the property over by a tree. It's a child's toys there. And there is a bucket there that we would like to be removed or turned over.
And I'm handing you what has been marked as Exhibit 2. Do you recognize that photo?
Yes.
And what is that?
In the corner you have some trash there by the road, which we assume, is going to be picked up, but we take photos just in case. And then we have a camper in the background here. Don't believe anybody's living in it.
Handing you what has been marked as Exhibit 3. Do you recognize that photo?
Recording in progress.
That's a close-up photo
Recording
of
stopped.
the trash by the road. It looks like it maybe has been rummaged through by an animal or something, but in hopes hopes that it will be picked up in the next.
Keep your voice up, please.
Handing you what has been marked as Exhibit 4. Do you recognize this photo?
Yes.
What is that?
This is kind of a big picture photo of the front of the house. We've got some things under a maybe cream colored tarp that we're unsure about, and possibly a barrel full of trash.
Handing you what has been marked as Exhibit 5. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
What
That
is that?
is a blown up photo of the tarp we don't know what's under it, and then the possible barrel of trash.
Handing you what has been marked as Exhibit 6. Do you recognize that?
Yes. That is some solid waste. We have a chair with maybe some blankets in it. We've got some rubbish laying around in the weeds there.
Handing you what has been marked as Exhibit 7. Do you recognize that?
Yes. We've got some rubbish laying around the grill here on this picture.
Handing you what has been marked as Exhibit 8. Do you recognize that?
Yeah, that's a larger picture of the front yard, similar to one of the previous ones where there's the barrel of trash and the tarp.
And finally, I am handing you what has been marked as Exhibit 9. Do you recognize that?
That is a picture of stacked up pallets with a tarp over it.
And are Exhibits 1 through 9 true and accurate depictions of the property at 6629 Pied Piper Parkway as it appeared on today's date, November 3rd?
Yes.
No further questions.
All right, Ms. May, you have the right to ask questions of the witness. You can't testify, but you'll be able to testify on your own behalf in a minute. But if you have any questions you'd like to ask the witness, you may do so at this time.
When I talked to you, my question is, you said cover the pallets with a tarp, which we did. I don't recall, and refresh my memory, that you had stated that we had to cover the toys with a tarp.
That's correct. That's information that I got from our environmental health director today.
Okay. That's the only question I have.
All right, you have any redirect?
No, Your Honor. I have no other witnesses. We
All
just
right.
asked that Exhibits 1 through 9 be admitted.
All right. Will, would you approach and present
Yes,
those,
sir.
please? All right. Now, Ms. Main, if you would like to testify on your own behalf, I'll hear your testimony. Do you wish to testify on your own behalf? And
Yes.
all right. Would you stand and raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. You can be seated there. Go ahead and don't argue. Just tell me, factual things about what's going on.
I had called Courtney, and I had asked her what they was considering. She told me to cover the tarps. Nothing was stated about cover the skids. Nothing was stated about the toys covering them. My trash pickup is on Fridays. They will pick all that up tomorrow. I did not realize that there was still stuff up there around that one chair, and I did not realize there was stuff out there around the grill that they didn't want, because I've got a cooler, I've got a couple of tables, and the grill in that area. I didn't realize that there was stuff underneath that they wanted gone. I can get rid of it without a problem. The stuff that she was referring to under the white tarp is my husband's table saw and his miter saw that he uses on a regular basis. We cover them with a tarp because out there, and they're on a table, the miter saw is on a table underneath. I can get rid of the rest of that other stuff that's up in that one picture. I didn't realize that there was stuff there because I work 6 to 7 days a week. My husband works 5 to 7 days a week, just depends. And I'm working on trying to get it done as much as I can. And I've tried to do everything she had said and covered the stuff up that she had said, but I didn't realize that some of the other was, like I said, the tarp over the toys. That's not a problem. I can take care of that today when I leave here. I can go get a tarp and put over the top of the toys. That is not an issue. And I can get rid of that other this afternoon when I go home.
Okay. Any questions you'd like to ask her?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Any other witnesses?
No,
Okay. You don't have any photographs or other evidence or anything?
no, because my photographs would have been pretty much what she,
Okay. Well, I do have a question for the plaintiff. The covering, does it the position of the plaintiff that if you cover up solid waste, that that's not a violation?
We're just trying to minimize the.
Pardon me?
We're just trying to minimize the mosquito harvest. So the toys, as long as they're not holding water, if she's dumping.
Yeah, but I mean,
them
it
out.
still could cover up, I mean, if it's trash and garbage and stuff, I mean, it still can be haven for rodents and
Yes.
vermin and so forth. All right.
Yeah.
So it's basically a temporary fix. All right. Well, what I'm going to do is this, Miss Maine. I can say that based some of these things, I mean, things that you're using and so forth, like the miter saw and a cooler theft, I mean, that's not junk. And of course, you probably would cover up the miter saw just to make sure it doesn't get rained on and rust and so forth. But from what I see here, I see a lot of what I would describe as trash. And just to my comment is that, as a matter of law, I don't think that covering up that kind of stuff really changes its character as solid waste, other than it helps prevent, mosquitoes and things like that, water accumulating in it, but it still can be a problem. And so, I think that, a lot of this stuff is in violation of the court's order. What I'm going to do is this. I'm going to continue this hearing in progress, since you said that you've got arrangements for it, and I'm going to continue this hearing to, I didn't bring the calendar out, but let me think here. Well, maybe you better go get the calendar, Ben. I'm going to put us on recess or pause, because I'm going to go in and put the defendant and his client in a breakout room here. And what I'm doing is giving you the opportunity to clean everything up by that time. And even though I think that you are in contempt, if you get it all done and cleaned up, then, I don't see any need to punish you for it. But, I just want to give you the opportunity. You've had some time, but, you need to get it done. So, set it for November the 14th. You say you work, where do you work?
I work at Gold Star,
Okay, what's your hours?
9 to 5.
Okay, well, we have
I'll have to pick a day and take a day off, is what I'll
All right.
have to do,
well,
request it
I was
off.
going to say, I could set it where maybe you could just take during your lunch hour. How about 1 o'clock on the 14th? That's a Monday. If you're scheduled to work then or not.
I will be, but I can fix it to where I can get that day off,
All right, okay.
or get
All right.
time off.
And so, at that time, I'll hear any additional evidence from either side as to what has happened. And now, I'm not saying that, you're not going to be held in contempt if it's not totally cleaned up. But if you do get it all cleaned up, so forth, what I'll probably do is say there's a technical contempt to just make you pay the court cost. So, but, you got to get it cleaned up. And like I said, now like the pallets and stuff, if you use those in some kind of business, then covering them up would be all right. And I'll let, given my guidance to the health department, just apply that guidance in terms of what can be done. Because if it's something that's being used, you know, or will be used, you know, then, you know, covering it up would be a good solution. But, you know, if it's waste and it's junk and trash, it's got to be cleaned up.
we are using them.
Okay. Well, you can talk with them about how you can get that, because what I saw, the tarp there, it looks like it's torn off.
That's a brand new tarp, and it was
It's just blown off then?
It was partially not, I didn't fasten it
Okay.
last night with bungees so that it was tight around them.
Yeah, okay. All right, so November 14th, 1 o'clock then. Okay, thank you. All right, we're on record on two cases, both State of Ohio versus Kyle J. Smallwood, 22 CR 78, 22 CR 110. You are Kyle Smallwood, appearing there from the jail?
Yes.
All right, this hearing is being conducted by Zoom. Mr. Smallwood's attorney, Dennis Schertz, appearing from his office. Appearing from the prosecutor's office is prosecuting attorney Collins. This is a hearing on the defendant's competency. The defendant had previously been found incompetent and had been committed to the custody of Twin Valley Behavioral Health Care for restoration of competency treatment. The court received a report from Mr. Foreman, who is the Forensic Services Director, on November the 2nd, which was the status report on the ongoing treatment as required by statute. The court set this hearing, and each of the attorneys have received their copy of the report.
The state has, Your Honor.
I have, Your Honor.
All right. Okay. Did either party wish to offer any evidence beyond the report that was provided? Looking for the name of the doctor, Dr. Kevin J. Edwards, forensic psychologist. Either party wish to present any other evidence?
The state does not.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Okay. Well, based on the report from Dr. Edwards, it's his opinion that Mr. Smallwood is capable of understanding the nature and objective of these proceedings and is able to assist in his own defense, and therefore was to be returned to the court, which he has been, to the sheriff's office, custody of the sheriff. And so based on that, the court finds that the defendant is competent to stand trial. He is able to understand the nature and objective of the proceedings and to assist his counsel in his defense, and the matter will be restored to the active docket. Looking here to see where we stand on these cases. Let's see, in 22 CR 78, it's a trespass and a habitation where a person was present or likely to be present. Looks like discovery was filed by the state. I don't think the defense has, so what we'll do is we'll set this for a final pretrial, give you, Mr. Kirk, time to prepare your compliance as well as to file any other motions you think might be applicable. So we'll set final pretrial. Will you be back on November 16th?
Yes, I'm available on the
All right.
16th.
All right, so,
I am up in Clinton County that afternoon for a hearing in the afternoon.
oh, wait a minute, yeah, that is pre-trial date. You're in Clinton in the afternoon?
That's correct.
All right, well, we're having sentencings, okay, that morning is open, and I'm thinking that I have an appointment. Is the reason it's open. So I don't think I better set that. So how about November the 17th? Mr. Kirk, are you available then?
Yes, what time is the court looking at?
2 o'clock?
Yes, that'd be fine.
All right, that'll be both cases. Then we'll set a trial date on refresh my memory, Mrs. Collins, are these two cases involve different alleged victims? Same
No,
vic-
they don't actually.
Is there going to be a request to join them for trial?
I actually just wrote that in my file.
All right, well, if you wouldn't file that motion, then I'll go ahead for the time being and set them at the same time, subject to the court's final decision, but you'll have to file a motion for joinder, and then Mr. Kirk will have an opportunity to respond, and then I'll make that decision at the final pretrial. So tentatively, we'll set both trials for December 12th at 8 a.m. The same bond in each case is restored, and defendant will be held in custody pending the, unless in lieu of bond, and the speedy trial time is extended to December 12th due to the proceedings to determine his competency to stand trial and his commitment. All right, is there anything further from counsel?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you'll be held in custody there at the jail, Mr. Smallwood, unless you make bail. If you do make bail, you have to report to the probation department, and you'll be under pretrial supervision under the same conditions that I ordered at your original bail order. All right, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, case number 18 CV 234, Highland County Health District versus Jessica Underwood. Present for the plaintiff is Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Adam King. And are you Jessica Underwood?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Underwood is appearing without counsel. All right. The record reflects that the court issued a permanent injunction on March 18th, 2019, enjoining the defendant from continuing to violate solid waste, and well as discharging and sewage and violating the rules and regulations regarding household waste, and specifically sewer. And I see here there was a number of things that I ordered, including that she was to apply for a grant for repairs, replacement, and had to comply with directed within 30 days, was prohibited from residing in the dwelling until the nuisance was fully abated. She had an approved system. The plaintiff filed a motion asking for the defendant to be held in contempt on September the 8th. And it alleges that she's failed to remove the solid waste from the premises and has continued to allow it to accumulate. So this is not directed at all to the sewage treatment at all, just solid waste?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. Now, the court's copies of the photos are black and white. These are a little bit better than some of the others I've seen, but I assume you have some current photographs.
I do, Your Honor.
If you would
Like
mark
to
those and show them to the defendant so Mrs. Underwood could look at those, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Ms. Underwood, the issue before the court is whether you have violated there was two parts to that injunction. One was regarding your sewage treatment facilities, and you apparently are in compliance with that, but also the other was the solid waste, and that's the part that they're alleging that you have failed to comply with. And those photographs, what they're saying is those show the condition of the property, I assume, today. That's what typically happens. My question to you, well, first of all, let me say this, is if you're found to be in contempt of the court's order, I could order you to be sentenced to jail for 30 days. I could also fine you $250 since it would be the first contempt offense. So the question that I have is whether, since you've looked at the photographs, are you disagreeing with are you saying that you are not in contempt, or do you admit that you are in contempt based upon the allegations that have been made? And if you're not, then we'll have a hearing. If you feel you're not, we'll have a hearing. They'll present testimony and evidence, and you'll have a chance to testify as well and present your own evidence. And if you feel that you are, then then you would make that admission. And it doesn't matter which. It won't be held against you if you deny it. So if you deny it, then they'll have to put on some testimony. So.
Okay. Well, I mean, we've been working on it. My husband's been working on it steadily recently.
Okay, well, that kind of goes to the question of what, if you are in contempt, what the court sanction would be. Okay. But right now, I just need to know, are you denying that you're in, the allegations and what they're suggesting there, those photographs shows is you've permitted the accumulation of solid waste contrary to the order of the court and the regulations and statutes regarding solid waste accumulation on property. That's the issue. And if you feel you're not, then they'll put on a hearing, they'll put on evidence. If you feel that you are, then you admit that you are in contempt, and then we'll determine what remedy should happen.
Okay. There is still a lot on the property, yes.
Okay. So you're admitting that then? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Could you bring those photos up to me,
Yes,
please?
Your Honor.
Okay. So have you been in contact, have you talked with any of the health department representatives about getting this stuff cleaned up and taken care of?
I haven't recently. My husband, I believe, spoke with them yesterday.
I'm sorry?
My husband spoke with them yesterday.
Okay.
Other
They
than
notified
that,
you
it's been a long
previously, I
time.
believe, you received this contempt motion back in September 26th is when you received it. So, there's been a little over a month, going on 6 weeks. But what I'm looking at here, is a photograph with a old pickup truck cap stacked on quite a few tires, and some other trash around on the ground. And then another picture shows an old chair, wood shelf, some sort of brackets. Looks like that might have been at one time some sort of a table or something. A whole bunch of other trash there. And then there looks like there's some old riding mowers. Another tire looks like it goes to a riding mower. And a whole bunch of what I would call as junk wood. And some cans, and it's like a plastic bottle, maybe Suave shampoo. So it appears to me then that you are in contempt, that you admit that these are the pictures and the property. So what is your plan to get this stuff cleaned up?
No, like I said, he's steadily been working on it. He's actually made a huge dent in it within the past couple of weeks since he's been working on it. I was diagnosed with heart failure about a year ago, and
Who was?
so I'm not. I
You
was,
are?
Yeah. So I mean.
Well, unfortunately,
I'm
property's in your
relying
name,
upon
right?
him. Right. Yes.
Yeah.
I realize that. And.
All right. Well, this is quite a bit of stuff, Miss Underwood, and so I am going to find you in contempt, but I'm going to give you some time to purge yourself of that contempt. And what that means is that I'm sentencing you to 30 days in jail and a fine of $250. However, you can purge yourself, and purge, what the term purge means is that if you comply and do everything you're supposed to do,
Okay.
then you won't have to serve the jail sentence and you won't have to pay the fine.
Okay.
You will still have to pay the court cost. So, we're running into bad weather, but I can't, you've had some time. You've had 6 weeks to do this. Plus, here's the other thing. It was 3 years ago, that I ordered you not to do this anymore. And you got it cleaned up, apparently, to the extent that the health department was satisfied, and then, you slipped back. I guess in the world of drug addiction, we'd call that a relapse, but unfortunately, you can't do that when it comes to an injunction. I appreciate the fact that you have health problems, and I'm sorry for that, but on the other hand, you're the owner of the property.
Right.
And so you have the legal responsibility, and, I know it can cause some problems in marital discord, but I think what you're going to have to tell your husband is, look, if this doesn't get cleaned up, I'm the one that's got to pay the price because the
Why
property's
he's
in
been
my
doing it
name.
the last couple of weeks.
So anyway, he needs to understand that. I
Right.
kind of wish he was here. I would tell him that he has he needs to do that, because my hunch is he's probably done most of this. And so, but unfortunately, the law says the owner's responsible.
Right.
And it doesn't matter whether it's husband and wife, or mother and children, or father and children, or whatever, or renters, or friends. You have to clean it up.
I understand that.
So I will give you until, let's see, today is the 2nd, or I'm sorry, the 3rd. I'll give you until December the 16th to clean the property up, and we will set a hearing to determine if you have complied for December the 16th at 1 p.m.
Okay.
If before that time the plaintiff is satisfied that you have complied and they file a written notice with the court that you've complied, then you won't have to appear.
Okay.
But if they tell you they're not satisfied, then you have to appear. And the purpose of that hearing will be to determine if I'm going to order you to serve your sentence. Well, first of all, determine if you have purged yourself, if you have complied. If you disagree with them, you have the right to present evidence and so forth. But if you haven't complied, then at that time I could order you to do your jail time. And I'll tell you, I've had at least two both women, by the way, served 30-day jail sentences here recently. So, you know, I don't want you to be the third.
I won't be. It'll
all
be
right.
taken care of.
Okay. So if they notify me before that date, you don't have to appear. If they don't, you need to appear, and then I'll make the decision at that point if you've complied or not. And if you do, you won't have to do the 30 days, you won't have to pay the fine, but you will be required to pay the court costs, but we'll give you some time to do that. All right?
Okay?
Okay? You have any questions?
No?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.